In the PocketLocke challenge, we open 7 packs and choose only 4 of those. That's our base deck, and 1 win it's 1 new pack. The goal is 5 victories in a row, and last time, our base deck was a mix of fire and fighting energy. It was really hard being able to use only 12 out of the 20 cards in the deck. 5 losses in a row got us our first Mercy upgrade, and after a complete legit win, we got our first upgrade pack, and Fanfi had to work really hard for the second one. What do you think is going to happen this time? Let's begin. Okay, so this is the first game for the second day of the challenge. We're going to start with Unknown on the front and Houndour on the back. We're going to be facing a Palkia EX deck, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. We're going to start figuring out what is going to come in next into the deck. We're going to go into a Donphan. We see that we have an energy of fighting energy on our side, so it's better to commit to this Houndour line because we already have the energy that we're going to need for that. And we see that he has the Palkia, Manaphy on the back, and Eevee on the front with 1 energy. He's going to use Misty, trying to get even more energy. He's not going to be able to. Put Manaphy on the front, evolves to Vaporeon. Manaphy is going to give 2 energy, means that from this moment moving forward, he's going to have 3 energy every turn. And we are going to commit to the energy on Houndour. We don't have the energy to actually remove Unknown from the front line, so we're not going to commit to that. We're just going to pass. And here Manaphy giving another 2 energy, meaning that Palkia is going to have 3. And by the end of the next turn, he's going to have at least 5 energy on Palkia. Houndoom on the front line, attacking, preventing Manaphy to moving to the back line again. Second copy of Misty failing, and here we go, another time energy. Free energy for my opponent. Now, what we are going to do is that we're going to remove Houndoom from the front line, attacking with Unknown, so we can have Houndoom ready for the next Pokemon that he's going to put on the front line, preventing him to be able to move again to retreat. So that's our only hope. But if we can see the energy on my side, I have a dark type energy. That happened because the last time that I was editing the deck, I forgot that the deck actually auto-adjusts the energy, so I needed to be more careful with that. He attacks wasting 4 energy for that Palkia EX, but it doesn't matter because he already have other 3 energy ready on Vaporeon, being able to attack for the second time for 150 damage. That's 3 points for him, and game. Second game, we're going to start with Gible at the front, Houndour on the back line, and we're going to go again against another Palkia EX deck. So our plan in this moment is, well, I didn't change the energy typing again, so my bad. He's going to start with Palkia attacking for 30 points of damage each turn. I'm going to go for Kragank in the energy because it's the only one that can actually make use of that one. He is going to use the Professor Research to get 2 new cards, and he's going to show that he's playing some kind of weird mix of different type of water type Pokemon. He's going to have Frogadier on the back line. He's going to evolve it into a Greninja at some point, and a Staryu Starmie evolution line also in the back line. So we lost of Evil. Kragan is going to be able to start to attack that Palkia, reducing the points to 130. He's going to use that helmet, making things even more difficult for us. So my plan in this moment is to keep attacking with Kragan to keep that Palkia under 120 points. That way, if we are able to attack with Houndoom, we're going to be able to hit twice for 60. But yeah, he heals, so it's not going to be possible for me to do that in fast enough. So the strategy actually works. So second hit for Kragan, helmet do it some damage back to Kragan. He is going to heal once again, so there's no chance for us to actually commit to that play right now, but it's the only thing we can do. We are 2 points behind, meaning that it doesn't matter. When the moment that Palkia has the full energy to hit for 150, doesn't matter who he is going to hit, it is going to be enough damage to finish the game. So in this moment he already has all the energy that he needs on Palkia. He attacks with the basic for whatever reason. Let me leave. I retreat the Houndoom, put Heatran in the front line. Since he already has some damage, he's going to be able to hit a little bit harder, but it doesn't matter because Greninja, it's going to use his skill to finish the game. And that is game number 2. So we're going to move to game number 3. And in this one, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to start with this Eevee on the front line and Unknown on the back line. We're going to be facing some Moltres, so I'm thinking, well, this is going to be a Charizard or maybe an Infernape kind of deck. So we're going to start looking at the hand, and we see that we have Meditite on the background or on the backline and Medicham. So we're going to evolve. We have some energy on Eevee, so we can retreat, but we're not going to commit to have some damage on Medicham. Now that is the next turn, we're going to put some energy on Medicham. We're going to make sure that yes, we're facing some Chimchar deck. Attack with Medicham for 80 damage. And that already gives us a lot of advantage. He's going to put the Chimchar on the backline, Moltres, healing a little bit, but with that energy he's going to hit for 70, so we're going to try to hit once again with Medicham. If we get it, he's going to be 2 points behind, and look, that is another 80 points, so we're going to be ahead for 2 points. And here I cut the video a little bit because it took like 2 minutes to decide to put the Chimchar on the front line, and now we're going to be waiting. Now it's going to be the next turn, and I think that he just rage quit after 2 successful coin flips. So we're going to see the next pack: Barboach, Staraptor second copy, Gavite, and Barmy, and Sudowoodo. And probably Sudowoodo is going to be the best card that we're going to have from this pack, because the skill of Sudowoodo allows us to hit for 50 damage to any EX Pokemon, and being a fighting type, that's going to be even more damage to something really annoying, and it is Arceus. So that's the only advantage that we're going to have there. We're going to remove that Staravia also, and we're going to put here the copy of Gavite, but also the copy of Sudowoodo. And I noticed that Ghastly actually is not that bad as I thought in last chapter, because it only needs colorless energy, meaning that we can actually use him on the deck and be useful in any kind of emergency, but it is not going to be our best card. So that is going to be the deck after we edit this, and after that we're going to just go and move on to the next game. But before that, you may have noticed that I had this Lithian EX, and if you saw that before, I was maxed out on the packs. And yes, I'm just going to show you that I cannot miss those packs, but I need to open them. Just I'm going to keep transparency here, and there is where I got that Lithian EX. That actually hurt a lot, because since I didn't got this pack from a victory, I cannot use any of those cards, and that Lithian will have been really useful. Think about a deck with that Heracross and Berry, maybe Lithian giving extra grass energy, faster attacks. That would have been a different option, a different route, but we're not going to be able to use any of those cards. Second pack that we're going to be missing, because we cannot use these cards in our deck, sadly, it's going to be Pulptar, Clefairy, Cherubi, Staravia, and Fiona. So that was not a big miss, but it is okay. We're just going to keep using the deck that we have so far. Okay, third pack that we're going to open but not going to be able to use, it's going to be Hunter, Sumeriel, Mawels, Clefable, and another copy of Fiona. And I think that's it. That's all of the packs that I can actually open. I was forced to open because I cannot actually use them for this challenge. Okay, so here we have our next game. We're going to start with Hunter on the front line, Heatran on the back. We're going to play against some kind of grass type deck. We already know that he has Snivy on the front line. He's going to go for that Pokeball to put a Bulbasaur. So now we have an idea what we're going to be facing. he is going for that Cape, 1 energy on Snivy. We're going to go for that Professor's Oak, 1 energy. We're going to use it on Heatran, and we're going to try to commit to that line a little bit. We have our Sudowoodo, so that might be helpful. Again, that's Celebi EX, but now that we have a Houndoom, we can see that as a backup plan. We have already the 2 energy that we need on Heatran to start attacking. That Bulbasaur is going to be just 10 points away, so we can have our first point on this match. We're going to start using that fighting type energy on Houndoom, because he's the only one that can actually make good use of that type of energy. He's going to put Celebi back in the front with 4 actually grass energy. We're deciding here after that Sabrina that we're going to use that Shaming on the front line. If he kills or ends this Shaming, we're going to be in a good position because, well, free change for Houndoom, and Houndoom is not going to let that Celebi escape, so we're going to put another energy in Houndoom. We're going to attack for actually 80 damage because we weakness, and Celebi is not going to be able to retreat. Now he's going to put even more energy. He's going to attack for 300 damage, but does it matter? No, it doesn't matter because our Heatran is going to be able to hit for 60 points, at least 60 points, and that's going to be our 2 points we needed to end the game. So here we're going to be able to open our next pack that we're actually going to be able to use. What we're going to do here is open this pack, and we're going to see a Marill, Hunter, another copy of this. Hunter, we already have like 1 billion copies, and a Staraptor, also we have too many copies of that. Snorlax, you might think that we may be actually be able to use this with Barry because we do have 1 copy, but I don't think it is good enough. The retreat cost is extremely high and needs still a lot of energy and depends too much on Barry. So here's our next game. We're going to go against maybe the top deck of the format this season, that is Dialga with Arceus. It's going to start with Dialga and the helmet. We're going to start with Ghastly on the front line and Sudowoodo on the back. So Sudowoodo is going to be able to hit for 50 points each time to Dialga, and we're going to try to take advantage of that, but as you can see, we don't have any of our evolution lines, so we're not going to be able to do that much, and we already know that he is going to be able to play Cyrus, so it doesn't matter if we change our Pokemons too much, that Ghastly is already dead. So now we know that the next card we're going to have is Professor. We're going to put Sudowoodo on the front line. We're going to give another energy because if we at any point need to retreat that Sudowoodo, that's the only way that we're going to be able to use it. But still, after all of this, we're going to use our other Professor research. We're going to have that Gavite, but he's not going to be able to hit that hard. Sudowoodo making another 50 damage, but taking 20 back. And now he's going to be able to keep attacking with Dialga in a way that he's going to keep being able to build energy on all of their backup plan Pokemon. And if he gets any of the 2 copies that he has of Arceus on the front line, he's going to be able to hit for at least 130 each turn, and that's going to be enough to be able to defeat any of the Pokemon in my deck. So there's not much that I can do about it. The only thing that I can do is keep stalling, changing Pokemon on the front line to avoid losing any kind of new points, but we know that he has the Cyrus, so it's not going to be a good end for us. He doesn't have any other Pokemon, and so he cannot use that Pokemon communication. That's going to be his second point, and it doesn't matter what I put on the front line, he's going to be able to one-shot anything that I have. So even with the type advantage, Gavite is not going to be able to do much, and we're going to lose the game. But it's fine. It is fine. We're going to go to our next game. We're going to start with Meditite on the front line, because Meditite and the Evolution Island is going to be our hero, right? Because it's the only one that was actually able to give us a different kind of end against one of the matches that we saw last time. He's going to start with, again, Palkia and Eevee. So he is going to go for that evolution line of Eevee into Vaporeon, maybe a Manaphy. We're going to start with that Energy and Meditite, Sudowoodo on the back line. And the thing that we have as energy next is going to be a fire type of energy, but we don't have Houndoom or Houndour or Heatran on the front or in our hand to be able to make use of that energy. So here we're in a really difficult spot because we don't have any evolution line ready. We are not going to be able to attack really hard because Meditite only hits for 20 each turn, and he is going to be able to build every time more and more and more energy. Here we have the full combo with Vaporeon, Palkia EX and Manaphy. So yeah, we're not going to be able to do that much. We're going to use that fire fighting type energy to be able to hit for 50 with Sudowoodo each turn, but with the new supported card, he's going to be able to heal for 40 points, hitting strong enough to get the second point. And here the only advantage that I have is that he doesn't have that much energy built on Palkia EX, but it doesn't matter. He only needs 30 points to end that Ghastly. He decided to know he needs to go with Manaphy because he needs to flex for reasons. And yeah, so at this point we're just waiting to finish this game. Houndoom evolution line ready with 2 energy. We're going to retreat, attack and corner that Manaphy. 1 point for us, but it's the only point that I'm going to be able to actually get on this match. He has enough energy to hit for 150 and win the game that way. Next match, we're going to be starting with a Meditite on the front line. I think I can get it too used to start with Meditite on the front line at this point. We're going to go with Manaphy on the back because the energy that we have is actually fighting type energy and we don't have Houndour to be able to use that energy. Professor on the front line, we're going to start with Houndour because now we know that we have Houndoom, so we may be able to use that in our advantage. We're facing a Dialga EX with Mew. That is not maybe the most frequent combination that we're going to be seeing in general, but it's strong because it allows him to build energy quite fast. We're going to use our Shamin's ability to be able to retreat Meditite fast, evolve into Houndoom, and we already have enough energy to attack and corner that Dialga EX. So at this point he's only going to be able to hit us for 30 points, but still build enough energy on his back line. But with the use of Dawn, he's going to be able to move that energy, hitting in strong enough to remove that Houndoom and get enough 1 point. We're going to put Medicham on the front line, trying to go for that coin flip, missing sadly. He's going to be able to hit even more. And yeah, I think that's going to be it. He is going to be able to hit hard enough to destroy our Heatran, and that's going to be the end of another game. So at this point we're only waiting for him to be able to finish the game. We're going to start this new game with the Eevee on the front line against a Eevee with Celebi EX on the back line. We have our full line of Hunter and Houndoom, but we don't have... Actually we do have Heatran, or we have Shamin. So Shamin is going to allow us to retreat fast, Houndoom on the front line. This kind of a sneaky attack is the only actually good strategy that I do have, and only against grass type energy decks. He's going to be able to put Executor on the front with 1 energy, being able to hit for 40 or 80 each turn, and 160 hit points is really tanky even for our Houndoom. So as we do not want to lose Houndoom because he is more like a finisher, we're going to put Heatran on the front. He is going to be lucky there and hit us really hard. So we don't have the right type of energy to put on Heatran, so we can take advantage of his skill. He's going to put his second Celebi in the back line, hit again for 80 points of damage. we're going to put our Eevee on the front line because, again, we're going to try to put some damage into Executor before we're able to actually hit for Houndoom, and hope that he only hits for 40 when we put our Houndoom on the front line. But here we are in like a really tricky spot because we have Donphan, but we don't have enough energy. We need 3 of this fighting type energy to be able to hit for 60 points, but if we do that, we hit for the 6 points, and then we go for Houndoom and we finish the game. But that takes a lot of time, a lot of turns. It's not going to be fast enough. He's going to hit us for 150 points, and each turn that's going to be even more difficult to deal with. So we're going to hit for 80 damage this time. Celebi is not going to be able to retreat. He's going to use that Cyrus to make sure that he's going to attack that Eevee that we had on the backline, and that's going to be enough to finish the game. Next one, we're going to start with Meditite on the front line, and this professor is going to show us this Houndoom and Meditite, but again, no evolution lines ready. We're going to pass to our opponent. He has this Duskull on the front, so he's playing this kind of a psychic type of deck, and I'm not really used to see psychic decks that frequently now. So he's going to play that Duskull into Mew EX on the backline. We do have that Medicham evolution, so we're going to try to hit for 80 points this time. We know that we have a Donphan coming next, so that's our first point, but Medicham is really hard, so we don't know what is going to happen next. Mew EX on the front line without any type of energy. He's going to be able to put 20 damage with 1 energy type on Mew EX, but we have the weakness type, so that's going to be 40, enough to destroy our Medicham. We're going to see that we are going to have a Houndoom next turn, and so the Voodoo on the front line without energy, not being able to attack, so now he has the advantage. The only thing is that at least the Voodoo don't have that weakness type to psychic type Pokemon. 1 energy and so the Voodoo, we're going to be able to hit for 50 points each turn, but Mew EX is tanky enough to be able to stand. He's going to change into Mew2 EX, and it's going to hit for 60 with that Giovanni, enough to get rid of Sudowoodo, so he only needs 1 more point to finish the game. Heatran is going to hit for 40 points, and now that he has Gardevoir, that's enough to finish the game. So he's going to attack 150 points of damage, that's enough, and that's 5 games in a row that we lose. So we're going to choose which of the cards we're going to use to improve our deck a little bit. So I'm going to go for that X speed, because the only actual play that we have is that play when we switch fast enough into Houndoom, and that way we're going to be able to do more of those sneak attacks on grass type decks, preventing from retreat cost. And yeah, that's going to be all for this chapter of the PocketLocke. So I hope to see you in the next one.